Okay, what's up, blessed ones? This is Blair, your Cancer Care Bear. No hair, don't care. All faith, no fear. And you are now in the Blair podcast. I do appreciate the love and support. And this is not going to be an intro because I just have something to get off my chest, and I have to say this because I think it's it's at an all-time high. And like I said, I don't want to be a player hater. I don't want to sound like I'm being a crybaby or not, but please excuse the language, but a lot of you niggas are the reason why guys like myself gets the short end of the stick, get dissed, get ignored, get, played. Because, see, one thing that I admire about a woman, besides their beauty, is their confidence. And I'm big on accountability. And I am always big on vulnerability. And I know both of those things can coexist. They can coexist without each other. They can coexist with each other. But aside from the accountability, sometimes we have to remember nothing new is under the sun. I say this all the time. I've mentioned it on previous podcasts and episodes, and it's like we can't blame anybody else. We can't blame society. We can't blame our family. We can't blame the culture. We can't blame the media. We can't blame the government, whatever, for the decisions that we make. But again, nothing new is under the sun. And sometimes the best way to learn from bad decisions is to change and make better ones. But with that said, it's always kind of wild. Because again, I'm out here on social media. I be out here, working, talking to people. And social media, that's the new norm. Social media, that's a new line of communication. I don't like when people talk about how, it's just social media, how it's just the internet. And I mean, everybody can use it for whatever they want to use it for. But we're not going to sit here and act like that, that's not like our public diary. Some people use it for entertainment. Some people use it for business. Some people just use it for boredom. But at the same time, we have to remember it's like you represent yourself. So sometimes with things you share, it doesn't necessarily have to mean it's personally about you. But if you're sharing a post, if you're sharing a status, if you're sharing something that's either somewhere where you even thought it was where you can resonate with it in some form, whether you think it's funny, whether you disagree and just want an insight, or whether you like it or not. But my whole thing is like, niggas really be out here trying to spit game off the strength of a woman putting their ass up on the screen. And of course, social media is for attention. People kind of like everybody shoots their shot. More men shoot their shot on the internet than women, from what I see. And I know, of course, like women, a lot of times they'll comment on a man who they might think is attractive, and a lot of times it could probably be a celebrity or somebody who they probably might not even ever see. But like, not men. Men will shoot their shot at anything. They can sit there and see fat ass, and they be like, "Hey, beautiful," and I'm just like, really? Because one thing that I'm noticing now is that maybe it's because I'm getting older, and maybe I'm not like in that, like, because again, I'm not in those circles now, but it's like maybe because now I'm getting older and I'm not in that circle anymore. But like the clubs, I mean, people are still out here in the clubs, people are still out here in the lounges, people are still out here in the bars, but it's not, I don't really see it being promoted as much as it was in its prime. Social media, I don't think social media is in its prime anymore. Because now now with like podcast entrepreneurship, I mean, people use it for like businesses, but I don't think it's in its prime anymore. Like, you got MySpace, 21 was first popping, and even on Facebook, but it's like, you got TikTok now, you got Snapchat and Instagram, and then there's these other entities where, you don't even necessarily have to, have promoters anymore. Like now, the popular kids are the people in TikTok, and the hottest artists, the hottest rappers, they are, making these TikTok anthems and TikTok, what's the thing called jingles, and it gets to a point where, I just see things, and again, maybe I'm just old, but again, me being the type of man that I am, I always say I'm a guy. I can, I'm a Christian trap fan, Christian trap artist or whatnot, is where like I will sit here and listen to Marvin Sapp, and then right after I play a Marvin Sapp record, I will sit here and play a Young Jeezy record. I can sit here and, listen to Tamala Man, Take Me to the King, and then I will play a Nicki Minaj record like Bees in the Trap right after that. Just an example. But it's like, we can have a blend of things, but it's just like some things are just very irritating. I just really just want to vent, because I've been doing podcasts for a long time, and I never do it for fame. I never do it for money. I never do it for attention. It is what it is. I do try my hand now. Say, okay, let me try to monetize this. Let me try to sit here and get my premium. Let's see who's going to support and subscribe. And those of you who subscribe, like, share, whatever you do, whether you listen for a minute or listen through the whole thing, I do appreciate. Like I always mention, I can never thank my listeners enough, because there's thousands of podcasts out here, right? There's thousands of TikTokers out here. There's thousands of influencers out here. Now, I had listened to a Brilliant Idiots episode last week's, and I think Charlamagne was saying, there's too many podcasts now. Everybody's podcasting right now. And then Andrew Schultz said there's more. Like, for me, I'm on Andrew Schultz's side, where it's like, I think the more podcasters is better, because not because it's going to like kind of like weed out those who aren't really like for it, because people have to know their niche, find out what their calling is sometimes. But I do feel like everybody has something to say. Maybe everybody might not need to be heard, but I feel like there are people, everybody at least deserves a chance. But that's why it goes back again to like the freedoms. Like sometimes when you see things on social media, you're like, this is the reason why things are like this. Because again, me, I'm a manager at an auto store, and there's people who work under me that's been there longer than me. There's people who's under me who hasn't been there longer than me. There's people above me that been there longer than me. But like I said, there's a role, there's a position. And the way I look at certain things is due diligence. I believe in position. I don't micromanage. I don't believe in telling grown folks what to do, especially when they know their job. So it's the same thing with podcasting. I think for me, like I just got up on the mic started recording because, again, like, I just love expression. It's not even more so about me wanting to hear myself talk. It's about me expressing. It's about perspective. It's about putting the information out there because I wanted to change the narrative with this podcast. That's why I wanted the listeners and those who have questions and curious about things to send them emails to me, which will be in the bio. The link is there. I always leave myself open for that because I feel like I'm that friend. I'm that person that's necessary, whether you like it or not, because not everybody's going to listen to you. I will. I know people used to, like, my brothers and friends used to always get on me as far as, like, how I used to always stop. Like, how people used to always try to, sell their CDs, like, in the mall or on the strips or something and say, listen to this, $5, whatever, like that. That was me. I was the guy that would stop, and I'll do it. I will sit here and support your dreams and put my interest in it because I believe that it might be something that is good. Like, I'm not going to wait until somebody's hot to start listening to them. Like, if I come across it and I'm interested, I'm going to get it. And sometimes, and that's maybe because it comes from me, like, okay, me having higher ambitions and goals. It's like, I want somebody to be able to give me a chance, but it's just because, like, I'm not one of those type of people that just brush somebody's off. And this is why I talk about even with social media and, like how a lot of these niggas out here, they try to, they really make it bad for the good guys, the nice guys. Because one thing to, spit game and be sincere and be genuine, but it's not game when you're sincere and genuine. If somebody looks at it that way, that's how they look at it. But it's like, you can say, like, one thing to me is game isn't saying the same thing to every woman or every man, depending on how you roll, whether a woman led to this. It's not game if you're genuine. Now, if you're saying it to everybody, it can still be genuine. Because the same thing for me is like, I'm single, but I'm a father. I'm also, I have female friends. So one thing about me is I respect the woman in my life. I respect the woman that I don't even know. It's just certain things where it's like, okay, if I see a beautiful woman, I don't approach every fine woman I see. I mean, me working in retail, me being in customer service, me having all these different jobs. I have no problem talking to people. I have no problems talking to women. I have no problems, showing my interest, giving my interest. But like I said, social media is like, that's the new thing. It's more easier. It's more better because sometimes, you can't always you might catch somebody on a bad day. So when you're on social media though, it's like you will try to talk to a female, a woman, or a woman who's listening to a man. It's like, because like I said again, men are more receptive. Men are more approachable, and they, we respond. A lot of times we respond to everybody or respond to everything. Sometimes you don't necessarily have to have standards to, to speak to someone or to respond to someone. But with women, it's almost seems like with someone, it almost seems like there's a standard. You have to be a certain status, or they have to know you. Like sometimes, but the thing different between men and women is women can do things for self. They will post, they will dress, they will cook, for self. They will do these things for themselves, for their own pleasure, for their own, self-sufficiency. From what I gather, like, so I could be wrong, but this is just from what I gather. But just to, double down back on what I said, it's like a lot of these men, yo, like they really be out here. It's aggravating because it's like, you know, you probably might only see her chin, right? Her ass out at a certain angle, and you be like, beautiful. Damn, you fine. But then it's like, I mean, it could be true, but it's like it's all about the, you know, the context of it and the content. You know, some of that stuff just kind of aggravates me, and I be like, man, this is probably what it is. Because like one thing that I don't like is I'd rather you be honest and hurt my feelings than lie to me or ignore me or just because again, to me, I don't care what nobody said. You have to ignore certain things, but it's almost like you have to, like, that's almost like trying. So it's kind of disrespectful. If you're ignoring something, if you're ignoring someone, maybe even in a positive sense, that's disrespectful to me. Some things you have to ignore, like you gotta ignore negative comments, you have to ignore the hate and stuff, but it's still even hard to ignore that. But sometimes, well, not even ignore, but you gotta disregard it. Because to me, I feel like I believe in my heart that hurt people hurt people. That's kind of like a cliche. Hurt people, but heal people. And I know if you are someone, man or woman, who might always be sexualized or objectified, you know, you're gonna be cautious, but I don't even think it's like caution. Like, I think when you're out in the streets out here, like, you're caution, but I'm not even sure if it's caution. It's just kind of like, it's a certain zone. It's like, hey, I don't want my time wasted. And like I said, this is just me just giving you my vulnerability and my accountability. I done been thirsty many times, multiple times. I'm thirsty all the time because I haven't satisfied it. My thirst hasn't been quenched. You know, not in a sexual way, but in a way of, hey, here's someone who is interesting or I find attractive, or someone who I might have some type of intrigueness or liking to, someone I take liking to in some way, shape, or form. But the thing about it is, I have to take the approach of myself. I don't have game. And that's probably why I don't get any play. But I'm honest. But you can never know when someone's being honest with you unless you actually have that interaction. Nothing new is under the sun. Like I was telling this to someone earlier today, and it's like nothing new is under the sun. People say the past don't matter. Bullshit. Excuse my language. Bullshit, because we will constantly continue to make the same mistakes or make those poor decisions until it's corrected. Because one thing about it is, if you don't care about the way you live your life, the universe isn't going to care how life reacts to you. And like I said, again, going back to accountability, I know I eat certain things I'm not supposed to eat, or I probably shouldn't eat. I might say things that I probably shouldn't say. Our thoughts are a little bit different, certain things are just going to come to mind, but it's how you respond to it. Everything is a reaction. So my thing is this, and I pose this question, I challenge you all listening to this, is self-reflection, self-care. When you are interacting with someone, whether in person or on social media, or somebody's interacting with you, if you feel annoyed, walk away. It's a little bit different if you're at work or something, but if you're out here because it's a good, nice weather, the arms, the legs, the chest, the ass is coming out, like people gonna be sitting here sweating. It's gonna be a lot. It's March. 420's coming. It's quick. Spring break is coming quick. Summertime is coming quick. The bike week is coming quick. Fast and Furious is dropping soon. So, and it's 2023. Like 2020 was rough with COVID. 21 we was kind of getting out in the swing of things. 22 it kind of started to become a little bit more, but like this, we're 3.5 years out from the pandemic. Despite the prices going up in rank, people out here are going to be showing their ass. People are trying to catch a lick. People are trying, they look. I didn't hear much about CIAA much as I used to. Like I said, it's probably because I'm getting older now. But I remember when All-Star Weekend was a hot thing. It was almost kind of like like the 2000s Freaknik. But it's like Miami, South Beach, and all that stuff. Now it's like Houston, but it's like CIAA All-Star Weekend. All that, it used to be one of those things. It might still be like, I remember like people talking about Trevor there, man. Like, you gotta remember, like, social media in its prime was different. Social media in its prime was I'm an 80s baby, but I grew up in the 90s, so I remember how it was like in the summertime playing ball, playing freaking sports, like going to the beach, going to the pools, like having these house parties, excuse me. And House Party, that was a good movie. The new one, I think. My girl Maya was in there, man. I'm hating on dude, man. He had to get to spend time with Maya. But it's coming back. It's coming back to those times. So, that's just all my thoughts. Like, niggas, niggas just be beyond thirsty these days. But yeah, it's just certain things, man. Like, I just don't have the energy for it anymore. I used to be one of them guys that was on, like, I used to be one of them dudes that used to like respond to everything, used to comment on everybody's posts. I see a good looking woman, just like, hey man, yeah, like, but like it's just different. Like never when the ass is out and that's all you can see is her ass out and it's like beautiful. It's like, man, you try to sound like a gentleman when you say beautiful, but it's different. I might get in trouble for saying this, but if you're saying, hey, beautiful, when a woman's when a woman's showing her ass, like her ass, cheeks out, can hardly see her face, you don't really mean that. I mean, there's certain things that we think as men, but certain things you just can't say because it's like you can't say it. Because again, we can think whatever we want, but it's what actually comes out of your mouth is actually what you put in. But I mean, that's it. That's all I have. Like, I just wanted to vent out. But I appreciate y'all listening to my rant, yo. Like, I just wanted to vent my frustration. I had to, give y'all something this week. I take these little weeks off, and it's like I want to be more consistent, but I've been moving, been working, been handling things. I'm a father, like I'm moving to new locations, and I'm back. Back in Norfolk for those of you who know me in Virginia, but it's like I'm out here, trying to make things move and trying to do some things, but yeah, I just wanted to get that off my chest, so I appreciate y'all listening to me, taking the time. But, if y'all have any questions, suggestions, requests, y'all know what to do. Hit my email, social medias at blessed1up, BLSD1UP, or my email at AB1 Studios. Everything there where y'all need to be. But as always, again, stay safe, stay probably productive and positive. And again, this is Blair. I'm out.